Hi everybody! It's Thanksgiving week, as I'm sure all of you know, or at least all of you in the United States know. But obviously, being in Spain, guess who doesn't have Thanksgiving week? Me. That would be right. So today, I wanted to talk about how it was having my first not Thanksgiving, I should say. Living abroad, it's very difficult to think of American traditions, mostly because obviously, if you're not in America, you don't get those traditions. And this seems like such a no duh concept, but when you're actually living abroad, it's very hard. I probably was more homesick this week than I've ever been in my entire life, and I travel quite frequently. I have been away from home for many years because I went to university in a different state on the other side of the country, but I was still in the States. And when I studied abroad in Japan, well, it was over the spring semester and summer. So we didn't really have a lot of things to worry about, except for I didn't have the 4th of July, but there were still so many firework displays going on that I didn't feel like I missed a whole lot of anything. But Thanksgiving was surprisingly difficult for me to not experience. And I wasn't prepared for that. So I want to make sure that you are. And by doing that, I'm going to talk about what I did do this week and how I managed to deal with the homesickness and how I got through it all. Okay? So this week, obviously as a teacher, everybody wants me to talk about Thanksgiving. They want me to share my culture with them, with the children. So it was kind of one of those things. It was always on my mind. It wasn't like I could just kind of forget, oh, yeah, it's Thanksgiving, isn't it? Oh, okay, well, whatever. But I was actually okay with that. I liked the constant reminder because it made me feel as though it was a little bit like Thanksgiving week. Because when you're in the States, you get days off. You know perfectly well when it's Thanksgiving week. Whether you are going to do anything for Thanksgiving or not, you are thinking, oh, it's Thanksgiving week. I don't have to go to work. Score! Here, talking at work about Thanksgiving, it kind of felt like the same to me. It was the same feeling of, even if I'm not doing anything, I still know that it's Thanksgiving week. And so that helped me a lot. But if that wouldn't help you and you are here, you have to be aware that they will expect you to talk a lot about Thanksgiving if you are a teacher, because you are here as a cultural ambassador as well. So be prepared. That could be very difficult for you. Try to mentally prepare yourself if that would be hard. Another part of Thanksgiving is, of course, the turkey. Let's be real. Even in the United States, even people who are vegetarians or vegans have turkey because we have tofurkey. Okay, turkey is very, very, very important for Thanksgiving. It's so traditional. I even saw today that 88% of households in the United States have turkey on Thanksgiving. Everybody eats turkey. So all week I was thinking, okay, even if I can't really have a Thanksgiving dinner with my family, well, I want turkey. But I'm looking around, guess what they don't have in this country is turkey. It's almost impossible to find. It is so difficult to find turkey here. So I'm just looking and looking and looking and looking, and I just couldn't find it. And I was devastated. I'm not going to lie. I didn't realize I was going to be so emotional over not having turkey at Thanksgiving, but that was the hardest thing for me, was just to think I don't even have turkey. Like, I can't even have my own little Thanksgiving dinner because it doesn't feel like a Thanksgiving dinner if I don't have turkey. So I was really resigning myself to the fact that I'm just not going to have a Thanksgiving dinner. But on top of that, all of my family and friends back home were sending me pictures, messages, videos, like, we made it home for the holiday, or, hey, honey, yeah, we're driving in the car, we're going to your aunt's house, we'll see you soon, we'll call you from there so you can talk to everybody. And I'm still thinking, like, I don't even get turkey. Like, everybody gets to celebrate Thanksgiving together, and I don't even get turkey. And I had to remind myself, take a step back. Think about what Thanksgiving's about. It's about being thankful. So I really had a mantra going on saying, don't be sad. You know, you really wanted to come to Spain. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. You should be so happy to be here. If not having turkey at Thanksgiving is the biggest price you're going to pay for this amazing year, well, you know, it's really not that bad. But then on top of that, on actual Thursday, so on Thanksgiving Day this week, I didn't talk about Thanksgiving in a single one of my classes. So it was like all week long, I'm talking about Thanksgiving, I'm talking about Thanksgiving. But then the way it turned out, my schedule was that on Thanksgiving Day, I didn't have any presentations for my classes. I was in a lot of science classes that day, so I was teaching the students a lot of science. So it was this really surreal feeling of, oh my gosh, I've been teaching people about Thanksgiving all week, but the actual day I don't get to. And it was very hard for me. Luckily though, I have some amazing friends here in Spain, from all over the world, mostly other auxiliaries. And my group, if you will, involves one girl from Florida, one girl from London, and one girl from Scotland. These girls are my support and my lifeline, and I'm so happy to have them. And honestly, they are what I'm thankful for this year more than anything else. And I realized that I have people here, you know, and that was a very big deal for me, because it wasn't like I have to be alone on Thanksgiving. So after work, I reached out to them and I said, hey, you know, this is really hard for me. It's Thanksgiving and I don't want to eat alone. You know, whatever it is or whatever we do, I just don't want to be alone on Thanksgiving. So the four of us actually ended up getting together, and my friend, from the one from Florida, so the other American, she actually reached out to us randomly very quickly right before we were going to meet and said, I found turkey, oh my gosh, I found turkey. And I'm not going to lie, I may or may not have broken down. I was so happy that we did in fact find turkey, because it just became this very emotional moment for me. And so they came over to my place. We made a very, very sad looking Thanksgiving dinner. I'll try to put a photo up in here. But it was probably the greatest Thanksgiving of my life, because it really reminded me what is and is not important, and how things that I try to tell myself aren't important can still mean so much to you. It is okay to put this emotional feeling in having a turkey on Thanksgiving. You just have to remember that if you don't get that turkey, it's not the end of the world, because you still have all of these other amazing things. It just so happened that I got to say thank you for my turkey. Absolutely great Thanksgiving. And so I wanted to mostly make this video to remind you guys that even if you can't have everything from the United States or from wherever you're from when you are living abroad, or even if you're home and something happens and you can't get the traditions, or you can't celebrate the way that's meaningful to you, just remember, it's okay to be upset by it. You are not in trouble for your feelings, okay? But also remember that it's not the end of the world, and that you will manage to find another way to celebrate. And when you have to go through something like that, oftentimes the celebrations mean a whole lot more. So until next time, bye-bye.